Let's get right to that bombshell from Washington right now. The president announcing he and the first lady both testing positive for coronavirus tonight. This news coming hours after we learned one of the president's top aides who flew with him on Air Force One yesterday tested positive. CBS News reporter Nancy Chen has the late-breaking details from Washington.
One of President Trump's closest aides, Hope Hicks, has tested positive for the coronavirus. Late Thursday, the president tweeted that he and the First Lady tested positive for the virus. Hicks, who serves as counselor to President Trump, spent time near the president this week, including aboard Air Force One. So far, Hicks is the closest aide to President Trump to test positive for COVID-19. The White House issued a statement saying, "The president takes the health and safety of himself and everyone who works in support of him and the American people very seriously. White House operations collaborates with the physician to the president and the White House Military Office to ensure all plans and procedures incorporate current CDC guidance and best practices for limiting COVID-19 exposure to the greatest extent possible, both on complex and when the president is traveling." A White House official tells CBS News contact tracing has been done and the appropriate notifications and recommendations have been made. Nancy Chen, CBS News.
First Lady Melania Trump tweeting out just moments ago, quote, "As too many Americans have done this year, POTUS and I are quarantining at home after testing positive for COVID-19. We are feeling good and I have postponed all upcoming engagements. Please be sure you are staying safe and we will all get through this together." Now, according to the White House doctor, President Trump will continue carrying out his duties without disruption despite contracting the virus while the medical team oversees his recovery. And Wall Street is already reacting. Dow futures are down nearly 500 points in pre-market trading right now. And we're joined live right now by Dr. Yvonne Maldonado, an epidemiologist and infectious disease specialist at Stanford Medicine. Dr. Maldonado, thank you so much for joining us. What are some of the risk factors for someone of the president's age? He's 74, and frankly, his physical condition, his weight.
Well, combining the weight and the age factors puts him at, 8 to 10 times higher risk for hospitalization than somebody between 18 and 30 years of age. And certainly hospitalizations also can put a person at higher risk for death in that age group as well. And we know that about 80% of people with infections and hospitalizations actually are over 65, and he's certainly well over that age.
And he was just at the debate 2 days ago. What does that mean for presidential candidate Joe Biden and the risk this potentially poses to him?
Well, it depends on how close in contact they came. Hopefully they stayed about as apart as we saw on the television screen. But if they got close together, and if they were close together certainly for more than 15 minutes and closer than 6 feet apart, then there could be risk for infection. And certainly Vice President Biden, Senator Biden would have to really watch himself for symptoms and probably be tested in the next few days.
No question. And I'm thinking of all the people that were on Air Force One, including the press and all of his advisors. What type of risk are they? They were all on a plane together.
Again, it depends on how well they practice these CDC guidelines that they said that they did. So if everybody was distanced at least 6 feet apart and wearing masks, the airplane, I imagine, has the normal air efficiency of most jets, and those are pretty good. So the air is circulated pretty well and cleared pretty cleanly. So the issue really has to do with masking and distancing. In any event, I would still consider them at risk and would, because of the close quarters and the duration of time. And so they would probably, given the severity of this issue and the fact that these are high-level officials, that they would probably need to be monitored and potentially tested soon.
And we frequently have seen President Trump at these different campaign events not wearing masks. He even jabbed Joe Biden about Biden always wearing a mask. What would you say is the president's prognosis right now? His wife recently tweeted that they were feeling fine. If he would be getting very ill, would he be already starting to show symptoms given the fact that he did test positive?
It's really hard to know when he became infected. Generally, people are So about 80% of people have mild symptoms or no symptoms at all. So really it's really that 20% of people who will get hospitalized, sick enough to be hospitalized. But among those 20%, the majority will be over 60 or 65. So he's definitely in that at-risk group, a 1 in 5 risk. And he may, if he was infected in the last few days, it may take anywhere from 2 days or longer to develop symptoms.
All right. Dr. Maldonado, thank you so much for joining us tonight.